And the rescuers in Thailand race against the rains to free 12 boys and their football coach from a cave.
This bulletin is streaming live all across the world on 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook. On to our very first story this evening. Billboards of aspiring national executives of the ruling New Patriotic Party compete for attention at the Koforidua Technical University. The New Patriotic Party will be holding its delegates conference to elect national executives over the weekend to steer the affairs of the party for the next 4 years.
Banners and posters of all sizes have been draped on buildings and pasted on every available space. Each day, new ones are added on. It's unclear what impact it may have on delegates. That of Freddie Blay, Stephen Ntim, Nana B, Sami Oku, Kate Jemfua was spotted at every stop. When we visited the place for the conference, work was still ongoing on the field. The NPP National Delegates Conference is the first of its kind at the Koforidua Technical University. The Koforidua Technical University was established in 1997 as a polytechnic until it became a technical university last 2 years. Its vision is to be a reference point for world-class science and technology education and applied research. Currently, it has 5 faculties and 19 academic departments running bachelor programs and higher national diploma. Why the choice by the New Patriotic Party for its National Delegates Conference and elections is yet to have any historic connotation. Nevertheless, the Eastern region, specifically Chebi, is the hometown of the sitting president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Perhaps the choice might be to make the NPP much popular ahead of the 2020 elections. For the locals, it will be a time to cash in on sales as they hope for an improvement in the local economy from Thursday up to Sunday, when all activities will come to an end. Already hotels, guest houses, individual homes have all been booked over 3 months now. As far as Tafo, Suhum and other environs have had overflow bookings for rooms as well. Prices of the rooms have shot up as well due to the conference.
Let's still stay with the conference, and 1,000 police personnel have been deployed to the Eastern Regional Capital Koforidua to ensure safety and protect lives and property during and after the National Delegates Conference of the ruling New Patriotic Party this weekend. The police personnel have been drawn from 4 regions, the Eastern, Greater Accra, Volta and Central regions, to maintain law and order in Koforidua. Eastern Regional Public Affairs Director of the Ghana Police Service, DSP Ebenezer Tete, said measures have been put in place to ensure safety and order. DSP Tete stressed that no one will be allowed to enter the Congress grounds without the required accreditation. DSP Tete assured health personnel from the police hospital in Accra will be at the conference grounds to provide healthcare services to people.
Still in the camp of the New Patriotic Party, 14 people within the ruling MPP are contesting for the position of National Nasara Coordinator in the upcoming Delegate Conference in Koforidua. One of the aspirants, Alhaji Rashid Adam, is promising change in the Nasara wing.
Various aspirants are wrapping up on their campaign. Among the 14 people vying for the Nasara Coordinator is Alhaji Rashid Adam, who has promised to effect change on the face of the Nasara wing in the party by empowering the Nasara coordinators across the country. According to him, the Nasara wing of the party has been neglected and has become almost non-existent, a situation, he said, making it difficult for the wing to make any meaningful impacts. He wants to effect a positive change.
Life is, they remain as they, to me, actually, nothing is happening. or nothing has happened. I was a regional Nasarawa coordinator. The opportunity that I have as a businessman is not true. It's out of genuine need. And somebody tested and I realized that I'm a genuine person. All my life, all what is in my mind, even dated back in school, is business. Just to get a platform to help myself and then help touch a whole lot of life. And God has been so good to me. And direct and indirect employment I've given to people is more than 1,000 across the country. So, and they're in good position. So I wanted to translate that to my Nasarawa coordinators, even with company that I manage. I can use that to empower them so that each and every one of them can run the activities of Nasarawa with that, depending on the party.
Now, so stay with the NPP. Now, the Volta Region Secretariat of the New Patriotic Party has declared its support for the acting national chairman of the party, Freddie Blay, ahead of the National Delegates Conference in Koforidua. Freddie Blay is reputed to be the brain behind the numerous reforms that stabilized and projected the party to Ghanaians in the last election. Here's a report by Roberta Bilba.
The New Patriotic Party is seeking dynamic, selfless, dedicated and committed national executives to retain power in 2020. Achieving this will depend on the role of the national chairman who leads the charge.
It is against the backdrop that the entire regional executive of the New Patriotic Party, Volta region, wish to state without any shade of doubt that we give our absolute support to the candidature of Mr. Freddie Blay as the next chairman of the New Patriotic Party.
According to the Volta regional branch of the party, Freddie Blay did not only lead the NPP to victory from opposition, but personally helped in reforming the party in the Volta region in diverse ways. The regional chairman, Makafui Kofi Wanya, enumerated the various roles played by Freddie Blay since he took charge of the party in an acting capacity.
Freddie Blay's personal support to the development of the Volta region, and for that matter, NPP in general, is unmatched. We are therefore confident that when we give him the chance to lead the New Patriotic Party towards the next elections, he will not disappoint us. We must maintain Blay to retain power.
The region has also endorsed the party's national youth organizer, Sami Uku, for the national organizer position.
Now, the three aspirants vying for National Youth Organizer position of the New Patriotic Party, hosted on TV3's program New Day, have debated their visions and aspirations when voted into office. Now, the mother party holds its National Delegates Conference to elect its officials on Saturday.
Nana Boakye feels, being an advocate for the youth, he will endeavor to fight and oppose any policy that will retard the development of the youth.
You also need to fight, oppose any policy that militates against the development of the youth. You also need to make sure that you fight for issues that is based on the development of youth. For instance, education, unemployment, and stuff like that. And for me, I've assessed myself. I know I'm proactive. I know I'm a team player. I know I possess the required charisma to lead the youth.
Emmanuel Nanabidi Akodansapia said there should be a bridge to fill the gap between the party members and the government through the grassroots.
We want to bridge in the gap between the party people and the government.
There's a gap there.
There's a gap. There's a clear gap.
Youth and those at the top.
That is not necessarily the youth, the party itself and the government.
Kamaldeen Abdullahi believes his hallmark is to begin a solid mobilization drive using the youth to make the party more attractive.
You as a national youth organizer, you embark on what we call a solid mobilization drive to ensure that the support base of the party is large and is stronger.
That will still remain your channel of choice, the upcoming NPP rivaled coverage of that particular conference. But let's just stay with this because some news just coming through. Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu has hinted he will be investigating acting national chairman of the governing New Patriotic Party, Freddie Blay, on how he funded the purchase of National Conference. Join me on the telephone. Richard, thank you for your time this evening. Now, have you heard of this particular move by the special prosecutor to investigate how your candidate came about that money to fund these 275 buses?
Yes, I'm told. I granted an interview to CTFM, and that issue was asked to me. I have since done my checks, and Mr. Martin Amidu has denied any such thing. So it is fake news being propagated by somebody in CTFM or by CTFM, I would say.
Well, you see,
and so there is nothing by Mr. Martin Amidu to that effect. And I would wish and pray you, a very august media house like yours would do a follow-up. I'm sure you do have the contact of Mr. Amidu. Kindly call him and ask him if any such petition has been brought before him. And if any such has been brought before him, he hasn't served us any copy. If we have our copy, we'll duly respond.
Let me just confirm this. Let me just confirm this. Have you spoken to Martin Amidu yourself, and he's told you that nothing of the sort has been brought to his attention, and he's not even thinking about taking any decision in that regard? Is this what you're saying?
May I ask you if you have asked Mr. Martin Amidu if there's any petition before him, or he intends to take such an initiative before you ask me the question?
In this case, I'm asking you the questions, and I believe
that you are asking me premise on what CTFM put out, and I'm saying it is fake news.
Okay, and I'm saying to you that you are answering me making emphatic statements that you've spoken to.
And I'm saying
Martin
that we have
Amidu.
made contact with Mr. Martin Amidu. I don't have to do that in person. I am working with a team, and I'm saying on authority we have made contact with Mr. Martin Amidu. He says there is no such petition, and he has not intended or said he's going to do any such act. If there's any such attempt, the petition hasn't gotten to his office yet.
Okay.
And I'm challenging you to do your verifications before you put this out there. And I'm challenging CTFM. I'm saying it is fake news that was perpetuated by CTFM and whoever put it out there. I initially did not know, and I responded to it. After the interview with CTFM, I have done my checks. And I'm saying on authority that Mr. Martin Amidu has denied the story. And I would challenge you to do your up and put it out there, whether he says he has a petition to that effect or not. Well, but in any case, if there is a petition, we have nothing to hide. We are saying that it's a private partnership arrangement we have done with a bank. If anyone has any issues, at the appropriate time and at the appropriate forum, we'll put the various documentations and evidence before them. But we are not prepared to get trapped in our opponent's propaganda, because this seems to be some one or two media houses trying to help Mr. Intim out.
Well, describing this as fake news by CTFM is your own words, and we will not be able to
and I stand by that. I'm saying it's fake news media house.
But what I'm trying to make, the point, can you please, the point I'm trying to make to you is that when this came up yesterday, a number of reactions have come up, and many have raised questions as to especially the timing, as to why you're doing this at this time, describing it as amounting to vote buying. Indeed, some civil society organizations have raised that concern. Does this really get you as a camp concerned about what you're doing?
I don't have a problem with their concerns. The point is this. If people are all virtually speculating and wanting their voice heard, the Ghana Integrity Initiative started this about a month ago. When they did, and we explained it, I thought that we had explained it to their satisfaction. They started by saying they were going to the EOC, Shraj, and all sort of places. I expected by now they would have taken actions. 1 month, 2 months is too long for them to wait and then come back on radio. I expect Ghana Integrity Initiative to live up to his word and go to the appropriate forum instead of bantering with us on radio. You see, when they allow themselves to be politically used to do these things, they are actually reducing the integrity that they say they have.
Okay.
I don't get it.
All right, then.
If you have any issue against Mr. Blay's project or policy that he has delivered on, take action. You said you would take action. What is happening? Why are they still talking?
Okay.
They should take the appropriate action and we will respond.
Right.
If you don't understand the contract, get a copy of it, understand it, then you'll be better informed.
Okay.
Mr. Blair has not taken any government money. This NPP is not a government organization. He is not doing it for the government. He has not had any contact with any government agency and taken any money. If you go to the bank and you inquire, they will tell you the facility. And are you telling me that because Mr. Blair is the NPP chairman, he has no right to have engagement with banks?
Okay, Mr. Nema, thank you for your time this evening, and I'm grateful. He speaks for Freddie Blair, an aspirant of the national chairman position of the NPP in the upcoming National Delegates Conference. Let me just remind you, we're heavy on this conference, and we're going to be bringing you everything that's going to be happening on the conference grounds on our various media platforms here at Media General, talking about TV3, 3FM, Onia FM, Connect FM in Takrady and beyond, Akoma FM also in the Ashanti region, and also on 3news.com all across the world, on TV3 Ghana on Facebook. So stay with us. But away from the NPP and the conference, we're getting to some other issues relating to the Ghana Education Service. The Ghana Education Service, GES, has sacked 4 teachers of the Jisuman Senior High School in the Ashanti region for sexually assaulting some students. Now, some 9 teachers of the school in March 2018 were interdicted after they allegedly abused some female students sexually. Over a dozen of the students who testified said they were sexually abused in various forms. This development and other cases reported in some schools compelled the Ghana Education Service and Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku, to warn that government would not on any regional director of education who fails to protect female students who are victims of sexual abuse by teachers in senior high schools. Let's still stay the steam on this, and let's get on to Skype now. And Peter Pate-Anti is the Executive Director of the Institute of Education Studies. He joins me tonight. Good evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Anti, for your time this evening. Now, we already know that apart from these cases, there are 26 new cases of sexual abuse by teachers against students. What should the GES and the ministry be doing to send a strong signal of deterrence?
Thank you, Alfred. I think that the cases of sexual harassment and sexual violence against students in the senior high school dates back to the 90s, 80s, and even recently, the most recent study on that puts the figure at 33%. That was conducted by Plan Ghana. So it is obvious that this is a very important issue that we have to pay attention to. The thing that the ministry and Ghana Education should do is what has already started, and that is the teacher licensing process. You see, when you look at the disciplinary procedure that these teachers went through, 4 have been sacked, 4 have been transferred. Sacking does not prevent the person from applying to another school to go and teach. But when the teachers are licensed, as has been mandated by the National Teaching Council, then their license to teach will be taken away from them, as is done in other countries. And as soon as that is done, the teacher cannot move into any other school to go and perform the function of teaching. So that is the way that we should go. And I think that the National Teaching Council should expedite action in that direction so that teachers will be licensed, and when they fall prey to some of these things, their license will be withdrawn so that they cannot practice teaching in any part of the country.
Great. Mr. Pate, thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm grateful for this. Peter Pate-Anti is Executive Director of the Institute of Education Studies.
Yes, Alfred. And on to our MTN Vid reports this evening. Our citizen journalist, Tama Peter, highlights the flood situation at Abofo in the Ashanti region.
here is Abofo Napo Junction. There is a bridge here, but because of this year heavy rainfall, the blades have used to collapse. So here is the case that there is a heavy rainfall. So no any student or any teacher or government worker can cross this river and go for work. We are calling on the government to come and help. Tama Peter Abofo.
Well, we encourage you to also send your MTN Vision report via WhatsApp number. It's 055-1433-044. That's 055-1433-044.
This is live here on News 360. We're back with some business news. Do stay.
You're watching News 360, time for business. Good evening. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. Talking about identifying the problems and finding solution to the fallen city, Group CEO of Databank, Kwejo Adai Mensah, has attributed depreciation of the city mainly to global pressures as the U.S. has increased its Fed rate. Now, this, he said, has resulted in foreign investors' continued exits from the country's capital market. The city has weakened since the start of May, currently trading at 4 Ghana cedis 82 pesos to the dollar.
The local currency, the cedi, has hit one of its highest falls for this year, currently trading at 4.85 cedis to the United States dollar. Cumulatively, the cedi has depreciated 5.3% in the first 6 months of the year, compared to 3.3% in the first half of last year. The central bank said it last month significantly increased its weekly dollar sales to banks in support of the local currency. Investment banker and Group CEO of Databank says the pressure on the cedi is due to the increase in the U.S. Fed rate. This, according to him, foreign investors who make a sizable chunk of investors on the stock and bond markets are taking their profit out. In 2017, the Ghana Stock Exchange did quite well, returning to investors 52% returns, and so therefore it is time for profit taking, and it is taken in US dollars.
It's time for profit taking, and when they are taking out their profit, it means they will need more dollars to take out their profit. We are even seeing profit taking on the bond market as well. So a lot of people are trying to sell the bonds that they bought on GFM and take those profits out, because it is deemed safer if the Fed rate is going up. And it's worrying because the United States Federal Reserve is indicating that they may increase their rates again. And once that is happening, it means people will be shipping out more dollars.
He said the fall of the cedi will normalize once the MTN IPO is over, as much foreign exchange is expected to come into the country through the IPO.
The cedi rarely appreciates by huge margins to bring it back into the 4 region. We are now very close to breaking the psychological 5, and it's likely that it may break the psychological 5. But if I was sitting at the central bank today, I may artificially try and control the situation, because it will feed into local speculation, and you don't want that.
Right, so let's look at government's plans for our budget. And government is to table before Parliament a fiscal responsibility law which will seek to cap budget deficit at 5%. Now, this is to assist government deal with budget overruns and reduce debt to GDP ratio. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who hinted at this, at the U.S. Business Forum in Accra. He expressed confidence the new law will set the economy on a sound footing.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia expressed concern about huge annual budget deficits. In 2017, government closed the year on more than 6% budget deficit, which attracted dissatisfaction among the business community. To boost investor confidence in the country, government is to spearhead a fiscal responsibility law to cap budget deficit at 5%. Vice President Dr. Muhammad Bawumia said the law will also seek to set up an independent fiscal council to monitor activities.
So the new fiscal responsibility law will cap the budget deficit to 5%, will limit the debt to GDP ratio, and we will also establish as a third leg of it an independent fiscal council to oversee the implementation of fiscal policy. Some of the anchors also include the operationalization of a Treasury single account.
The America Business Forum was to discuss increasing American investment in Ghana and Africa. Available figures indicate that Ghana exported about $1.6 billion worth of items, while US imported $800 million from Ghana. Again in 2016, the figure stood at $1.2 billion worth of exported produce into the US markets. The Business Forum was to also discuss some $5.4 billion investment to be made by the U.S. government in Ghana and Africa. U.S. Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross assured of new stronger trade between U.S. and African continent.
We hope that the trade with Ghana will rise even more. We really want to see it grow. We want to help Ghana move from being basically a natural resource-based extraction economy to a vertically integrated manufacturing and service-based industry.
Recommendations from the workshop will seek to expand American investment into the oil and gas sector.
Government has signed a blockchain agreement with the United States of America to deploy cutting-edge technology to digitize all records in the country. The blockchain technology is to be implemented in the next few months through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources.
The blockchain technology is to be implemented through the International Business Machines, IBM, of the United States of America. The technology will seek to provide adequate access to all records to the implementers of the blockchain technology. The technology, which is to be implemented without any cost to government, will make Ghana competitive on the job market. Country Director for IBM, Angela Chermatin, said they are waiting on government to provide a technical team to roll out the project.
The blockchain basically is the digital recording of transactions, and what it does is it brings transparency and it brings authenticity to how transactions are done. Because they are electronically registered or electronically recorded, it's very difficult for anyone to just tamper with the records without actually letting all the other stakeholders know about it.
Vice President Dr. Muhammad Bawumia, who spoke at the event, was elated about the new initiative to facilitate business activities in the country. He again emphasized that other technological initiatives must be implemented to make Ghana a business-friendly environment. He recalled the paperless port and mobile money interoperability as effective measures to improve on the business climate.
Guided by the benefits of diversification, our industrialization drive is not limited to the extractive sectors. We have also launched the One District, One Factory initiative to mark a new dawn of the Ghanaian indigenous business promotion aimed at adding value to our raw materials, creating jobs, and stimulating local level economies for the benefit of all citizens. We welcome both foreign and local investor participation in this enterprise as well.
The U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Wilbur Ross, pledged strong commitment of the U.S. government to strengthen its businesses in the country.
We want to see all of the governments in Africa improve their business climates, grow digital economies, and create internationally competitive and productive agricultural, healthcare, energy, manufacturing, and service sector.
Right, so that'll do for business tonight. There's more on 3news.com. My name is Nanekia Mensah Brampa. Alfred is standing by with more. Good evening.
Thank you, Nanekia. Now, the Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers is confident that the latest outbreak of bird flu in the country will not also go beyond what can be contained. Over 11,000 birds have been so far called on various farms in Buankra, in Ashanti, in Koko, in the Eastern region, and Tema in the Greater Accra region. President of the Poultry Farmers Association, Victor Oponga-J, says there's no cause for alarm.
A total of 11,816 birds have been killed as part of measures to contain the spread of bird flu. Out of the figure, 5,431 have been killed on a farm at Buankra near Ejuso in the Ashanti region, 5,935 in Nkoko in the Eastern region, and 450 in Tema in the Greater Accra region. President of the National Association of Poultry Farmers, Victor Oponga-J, however, says there is no cause for alarm while containing the bird flu outbreak detected about a month ago. His confidence is based on information from the Veterinary Services Department that mitigation measures have helped to contain further spread.
When there is a reported case of a bird flu, the veterinary, including the fire service, the NADMO, government officials and MOFA staff will go to that farm to destroy all the birds, then disinfect the whole farm and quarantine the farm.
Victor Oponga-J said all affected farms have been quarantined and would not be allowed to operate in the next 6 months. He cautioned farmers to intensify farm hygiene and send any dead bird to a veterinary service to ascertain the cause of death. He allayed fears of possible infected birds on the market.
All birds sent to the market are very healthy ones. You cannot even touch an affected bird flu bird. So the public should be rest assured that there's no cause for alarm. All the birds that are being sold are very healthy and we can continue to enjoy our chicken.
Victor Oponga-J, however, appealed to government to pay outstanding compensation to farmers whose birds were killed between 2015 and 2016 when they were affected by the bird flu.
Let's turn to Parliament now, as the minority spokesperson on energy, Adam Mutawakilu, has alleged that the chief executive officer of the cylinder manufacturing company failed to follow due processes in awarding a 26 million cedi contract for the supply of plants and machinery. He has therefore expressed surprise at the dissolution of the board instead, adding the minority next week will present its report on the matter where they will lay the facts bare.
A letter signed by the Energy Minister, Boachi Ejako, directed the chairman of the board of the Ghana Manufacturing Cylinder Company, Frank Boachi Ajin, to hand over documents and items belonging to the board to the company secretary. The letter did not state the reasons for the dissolution, but sources say recent tension between the CEO, Frances Essiem, and the board may have played a part. Minority spokesperson on energy, Adam Mutawakilu, was surprised at the president's decision.
When the boss raised those critical issues and the minister set up the committee, they were given 2 weeks. We are in the 6th week. No report, and only to be slapped with the dissolution of the board. I believe that the president is protecting the CEO for the procurement breaches that he has so far done at the company. 2, it will boost her to continue to incur. As minority, when it came up, I made it clear that we will come out with our own report. And next week, our report will be out. And we are going to present the report vis-a-vis the relevant acts that we have.
You're watching News 360 from the News Hub here at Adisawe, Kanda. Thierry Nan joins us shortly for the latest from the world of sports. Stay with us. Thanks, Thierry, for the sports news there. Now, the board chair of Crown Agent, Marie Staunton, has described inspiring the achievements choked through the complementary basic education in Ghana. CBE is currently seeing the enrollment of 250,000 out-of-school children who hitherto had no access to any form of education. Agents has been in Ghana for the past 50 years as a non-profit business which partners with government, aid agencies, NGOs and companies in nearly 100 countries. Through the agency, 250,000 children have been put back in school through the complementary education program. It has supported communities and nations to accelerate their growth and improve the economy. The agency has trained over 500 public sector professionals to build professional skill sets to tackle corruption.
In the next 5 years, we're here to do even more, to learn about some of the challenges from the various meetings we've had today. We're really interested in continuing with our training work, to doing more value for money audits, also health system strengthening and procurement work as well.
According to Gerard Kwate, Director for Ghana, Crown Agents is one of the world's leading procurement and supply chains that help strengthen and build economies through consultancy, training and public financial management.
We also advise the government on value for money projects. So whenever one wants to enter into an agreement with
the efforts of the government for creating the enabling environment for the operations. You're live here on News 360. We've got some more news coming up for you shortly. Stay with us.
Hello, good evening. Let's do some entertainment news tonight on News 360. So, acclaimed spoken word performer Loud the Poet believes presenting a united front is key if the art form is to grow in patronage. In a chat with Owusu Warai, the passionate performer appealed to his contemporaries to rise above pride and being one that works individually and work together to attract the lesser-known art form to Ghanaians.
Proud groom to this new year, the bride. Leave no stone unturned, spill no semen. For her belly must protrude with our individual ideas and give birth to our desires. I am bent on impregnating. This year's womb is very receptive.
Born Lord Ham Kwate, Lord the Poet is a proud trailblazer of contemporary poetry in Ghana. Beyond expressing his views on social issues, the gifted spoken word performer has inspired many with his works. In his piece, This Year Go Pap, the spirited composer speaks positively into the lives of his fans.
Yeah, I was like, this year's womb is very receptive, and this year I am coming hard, no contraceptives. I will continue to speak straight, just like my sexuality. I won't relent on speaking street, the language of the subjugated. Also I speak elite, the language of the privileged majority. There is unity in this plurality. Just like my Lord and King, knowing the language of babies and oldies, I speak faith. See, faith is my lingua. Now check my early tweet this year. I said this year go pop. I go fish swear because God is my helper.
Appreciation and patronage of the art form, however, remains unimpressive.
Yes, they tend to put music at the forefront, and a lot of money that they want to give out to music. You get it? Meanwhile, the poets are there. It's funny. If they would have to take into cognizance all of us, it would help. Yeah, we're working on an association. I'm sure probably they'll go like, oh, we don't have an organized body and this. Talking about visibility, we all have a role to play, even the media. Like you're here interviewing me. These are some of the things that not just you, but everyone is supposed to do if we are talking about visibility.
There came a time when there was an invasion of black minds of white skin in the land of white minds of black skin. Hallelujah! Among many weapons they brought was the weapon of deception.
The celebrated performer is convinced presenting a united front is key to endearing the art form to Ghanaians.
You know, we've been trying to come up with this association thing. I know that it's probably just one poet trying to bring us all together, but too much pride in some of us. You know, I'll just say that too much pride, and some people just don't want to support it because they feel that probably it's not me. You know, just like National Theatre calling us, Amy Frimpong calling and said, oh, you people come together, let's do this. Some people opt out and say that, oh, this thing will not last, it will die. I mean, how can you have such a mentality when we really want to push it? You see, we should actually think of putting Ghana on the map there. Forget that. Unity is key.
The passionate poets also appeal to corporate Ghana to invest and help grow the art form.
Trust me, we've done a whole lot. If they really want, I see Eze Barclays supporting jazz, you know, and they do it so well. Come on. NTM, other people.
Well, so that's Loud the Poet calling for unity among artists. Away from spoken word, so her handbag containing valuables got stolen at the 2017.
Okay, so amazing. You see, I like spoken word.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's quite good.
Fantastic. I want to say thank you so much to that spoken word man, and on behalf of the rest of the team for being with us here on News 360. My name is Alfred Okansi.
And I'm Natalie Force. Visit our website, 3news.com, for some more news. As always, News at 10 will simulcast on our sister station, 3FM 92.7. Thanks for watching. Have an incredible evening.